Welcome everyone to another podcast at Franchise Voice. I'm really looking forward to like a conversation today with Shawn Saraga, who's like one of the franchise experts joining us in today. Shawn, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Perfect. Well, Shawn doesn't need an introduction. Shawn's like pretty well known in the franchise circle. Like he has been in the industry for over 20 years. He's one of the leading franchise consultants. He has worked with a number of different brands. To name some, Shawn can explain like some of the brands that he's been working on recently. He has helped open over 1,000 plus locations. Has has a deep, detailed knowledge of franchising and real estate market, and is very recognized in our community in Canadian franchise experts. Now, Shawn also leads in a company called the Franchise Academy, where he explains like people like what are the processes of buying a franchise, gives all kind of consulting from his years of experience doing this. So Shawn, let's start off with the like how everything began for you in the franchise space. What got you in franchising?
Oh, I got in completely by accident. My misspent youth was as a DJ in downtown Toronto at nightclubs and doing weddings and other events on Sunday nights. In my 20s, I got into the printing industry, got into that business with my dad, and we opened up several locations in downtown Toronto, sold them around 2000, and then started company that a lot of my clients wound up being franchisors. One of my early clients was Pizza and Shoeless Joe's. Worked with them and cut my teeth in the industry and started to build. Found I had a knack for it and really enjoyed setting people up for success. I really will never forget the first time it really hit me what I was doing when I saw an empty plot of land and then 6 months later saw a restaurant standing that was employing about 40 people and supporting families and creating jobs and opportunity, and how exciting that was for me to know that I was part in some way of their success story and what that meant. I also very early on in my career realized how vital real estate is to this industry. Without a franchisee, you don't have a lease. Without a lease, you don't have a franchisee. And I got my real estate license, and I'm the master broker for all the brands that I work with.
It's amazing. And
Yeah.
you said like like I mean I'm very impressed in your portfolio you have opened over 1,000 locations. That's no like I
Well,
mean
I don't
that
know how impressive it is, but it
it
pays a
is
bill
pretty
or two.
impressive. You're just a humble guy. Uh,
So
I,
I'll tell you, over my career, I've been in the industry for about 20 years. Yeah, opened over 1,000 franchises, signed over 800 leases. My first 15 years in the industry were as a broker. I worked with just about every industry segment from food to beauty, childcare, office centers, printing shops, clothing stores, you name it. And then about 5 years ago, took a pivot and decided to work exclusively with some brands. Really hyper-growed them. Saw some great success with Burger King, Barburrito, and Freshie, where I got to be part of building up some great companies that led to some really fantastic exits and high valuations. And currently invested in Tahini's, Storied Life AI, as well as bringing on board a few others right now.
well, all of these brands are amazing. A lot of our audience would know majority of them, and they're absolutely crushing it in the market. So it's really good to hear that you had been associated with all of these brands. Now, with years of experience, 1,000 plus locations on your hand, and like tons of like mentoring that I see that you do at different franchise shows and like events that we have cross paths together. Now, let me ask you this: what are the must-have systems that you absolutely need before starting in franchising?
Are you talking about for a franchisee or a franchisor?
Franchisor.
Okay, so if you want to be a franchisor and you want to be successful, one of the things you have to learn very quickly is you're no longer the king or queen at the table. You are the king or queen maker. You are the person that is helping someone else achieve success. Your customers are no longer the ones buying your donuts or the ones buying your whatever product you're selling. They are the customer. The customers are now your franchisees. Those are the people that you are putting into business. You're doing everything you can to make them successful. It takes a lot of compassion. It takes a lot of persistence. It also takes the ability to have vision and be able to see what a franchisee is capable of, and what they're able to accomplish in a given day. And that comes down to training, in my opinion, and making sure that you're choosing the right franchise partners. Choosing the right franchise partners is so mission critical to building a successful system. Can't even begin to put it into words. Is your franchisee committed to the community? Are they going to get involved in local store marketing? Are they going to sponsor sports teams, joining the Chamber of Commerce, and so on? Making sure that you're choosing the right partners to build your brand with is so critical. I'd say the second most important thing they have to choose also, or maybe even more important than the franchisee, is the location. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is more important than the location. It has to
Right.
be the best location or you shouldn't do it. At the end of the day, the location and the value of your real estate portfolio is going to be heavily instrumental in determining the value of your company.
Right. And I've seen it on your presentations where you keep on saying like location, location, and location. A lot of people would have heard that from you. So I truly believe there is like like a combination of things as you're explaining in your experience as well. Like you need to have like a hand on real estate. Now you've been a part of like real estate industry, and you also have done a lot of franchising, right? Now, how does that tie up, like in like in the new locations that you guys are exploring or starting off with?
So if you're talking about Tahini specifically, making sure the franchisee is a match for the location is mission critical, right? I can't take a B operator and put them in a AAA location. That is a recipe for failure. I got to make sure that the right operator is a match for the right location. That comes down to capacity, capabilities. I never want someone to have their first store, first entrance into our brand be a no-brainer home run location that's going to be busy 24/7, because they're not going to be able to keep up with it. They don't have the experience yet. They don't have the depth of knowledge. It's very concerning when they want to take that plunge and be that big of a risk taker. And it's risky for us as a brand to put a premium location like that on display with an inexperienced franchisee. And I've seen it backfire over and over again. I can always take a AAA operator, put them in a B location, and they will hit it out of the park every time. But I can't take a B operator and put them in a AAA location. So understanding the balance between quality of location and quality of operator is one of the very important things you need to determine as a franchisor when you're choosing who's going to get which source.
Right. And I mean, talking about franchise buyers, like you did highlight like like what you guys are looking for is particularly in Tahini's. What would you say? Like again, I'm guessing you work with hundreds of people almost every month, like that are coming to you to buy or like learn about franchising, especially from the buyer side of things. What are the things that you look into a candidate, or what would your recommendation would be when someone you would consider is like franchise ready or is ready to buy a franchise?
I learned a long time ago from a very persistence, people that are hungry, people that want to work hard, people that are ready to put in the effort. I'll also say language skills matter, social skills matter. If you're shy and not interested in speaking to people, don't buy a restaurant. Please, please don't. Don't apply for one. You're not a great fit, right? At the end of the day, you need to be able to speak to your customers. You need to be able to provide great customer service. If you're going to be exceptional, right? And I want exceptional franchisees. I don't want good franchisees. I want great franchisees. I want people that are here to really make a mark. And my goal is very simple: help my franchisees make enough money that they can afford to buy a second store. My partners at Tahini share that goal. Omar shares that goal, as well as all the other brands that I'm affiliated with share that same goal. That is the one mission that matters above all.
Right. And one of the things that I noted on your bio, and I also on the articles that you have written, like especially from the real estate side of things, you say, like 50 feet from great is not great. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Sure. So speaking of writings, I am a published author, and my book is coming out in the spring, How to Choose the Right Franchise for You. And there are some extensive chapters on real estate and site selection in that book. That book is also being converted into an online course that'll be available through my website too. And it'll teach you how to find the best locations for your brand. 50 feet from greatness. What does 50 feet from greatness mean? Well, it means you're around the corner from where the action is, right? It means you're in the area, but you don't have the visibility. You don't have the frontage. Nobody can see you. You're hidden. You're paying the same rents as your competitors. You're not getting the same advantages.
Right. And you know, like, I mean, I've noticed like people would start a franchise at a location which is probably not prime, or like doesn't have the foot traffic. How big of a difference, like a prime location that is like has a decent amount of foot traffic versus like what numbers do you see, like in terms of like sales that are,
So
like,
Kabir, it really does depend on the brand and the
right,
concept, right? The qualifications for a great location for a Mr. Lube are very different than the qualifications for a great location for a Tahini's,
right,
right? The qualifications for a great location for a Glow Beauty Bar are very different from the qualifications of a great location for an installation franchise. They all have their own nuances and characteristics. Each franchisor should be well versed in what it takes to make their location successful and what it takes for them to work. That is critical for them to understand. If the franchisor hasn't taken the time to really understand what makes their locations great, they can reach out to me and we'll show them how to do it. But I strongly recommend that franchisors take the time to really analyze their locations, give it a lot of thought, and show that they have the wherewithal and the savvy to know how to pick a great location.
right. And what would you say in terms of like franchise buyers, like what would be the biggest red flags that you should always watch especially if you're a franchisor that is negotiating a deal with a potential franchisee?
Oh, so yeah, it comes down to the questions. I always say the quality of the question will always determine the quality of the answer. But the quality of the question also determines the quality of the person you're speaking with. And if you start getting really dumb questions from franchisees, expect a lot more dumb questions once they sign. And if they start negotiating with you before they've signed the franchise agreement, trying to, nickel and dime you and wear you down and understand that they're trying to get a better deal somehow, understand that that's not going to stop. You're going to be dealing with that for the next 10 years of your life. Who they are today is who they will be for the entire term of your contract. So watch out for those red flags. Franchisees that tell me, can I get a discount on royalties? Can I get a discount on franchise fees? Because it's money's better in my pocket than it is in yours. Or, I don't think that, you deserve to get paid for the work that you're doing because I'm putting in so much money. They have a disproportionate view of what work is involved in actually setting them up for success. And they don't understand the value that the franchisor is bringing to the table. And that might be a failure on the franchisor's part that they haven't conveyed that messaging yet. But franchisees that start picking away at your system before you even open the door, man, those are nightmares to deal with for years and years to come.
Right. And if there's a new franchisor or someone who has a established business, they want to become a franchisor and they want to explore something in the restaurant space, like when do they come to you, or do you really take on like new franchisors that are like fairly new?
So my company's structured in the Franchise Academy. It's structured in 5 different segments. The first segment starts with the book, How to Choose the Right Franchise for You, which is a great reading material for new franchisees entering the system or looking for systems to invest in. I have an online course called How to Choose the Right Franchise for You, which teaches them and gives them the worksheets and books that they need to be able to, and training that they need to choose the right franchise for them. On the franchisor side, I have a consulting side of my business where I coach new and emerging brands. And I work with them and show them, how to build a CRM system, how to build a recruitment system. And I coach the chief executive officer on how to recruit and sign new franchise agreements. We work with them typically from 3 to 10 locations. And at 10 plus locations, they'll typically hire a commission-only sales rep of some kind. And we'll wind up coaching that person as well. Once they get to 20 locations is where we look at investing and taking them to a hyper growth mod.
Right. So there's like, I mean, there's in
So
different cities.
there's different stages, but I would say anywhere from one store up, we can definitely talk.
All right, perfect. And for those of you who are listening to this on any of our channels, like we would be sharing Sean's information, so you can reach out to Sean and like try to like get in contact. And Sean's an amazing mentor. I've seen him at different shows. Like he's also one of the key speakers at different events at CFA and different franchise shows. So like he's a very approachable
You're very
person.
kind, Kabir.
No problem. Like I mean, I'm
You're
just
very
speaking the
kind.
truth what I've seen over the years. So one thing that I want to touch on, Sean, like like especially in last 6 7 years, and I keep seeing this, like a lot of people go like, "Hey, what's the new trend in franchising? What's going to happen in the future?" And I would say in last, especially like 6 years since we had COVID and recession, inflation, especially in Canada, like I mean, mortgage rates going up and down. A lot of people were on the fence. Hey, we're not going to invest, and a lot of things have happened in just like like few years that would usually would happen in 2 3 decades, and that has changed a lot of things. What are the big shifts based on your experience, especially in the restaurant space, that you have seen? How are those changes shifting, like since we are very close to 2026, how do you see the industry changing now?
I mean, in Canada, the US, or both?
In Canada.
So I think we're in for a tough year ahead. I think the industry as a whole is in for a very tough year ahead. There's been a lot of layoffs announced across the country. People are tight right now. It's gonna be a tough 6 to 12 months. The investments from the federal budget aren't going to really take hold for probably 6 to 12 months. So I'd say 2026 probably a tough year. That being said, it's the tough years that really prove out who's the strongest. And as I tell all my clients and all the brands I work with, you want to get through this, you got to outwork your competitor. You got to knuckle down, man. This is going to be the hard year where you put in the extra work for marketing, you put in the extra work for ops, and you bring it and you outwork your competition. If you can't outwork your competition, you're believing your competition will outwork you. And in categories that are oversaturated right now, you will start seeing brands start to shrink, and certain brands start to really take a foothold and buy out closed shops and open up more stores. Right? It's the in every market there's typically 3 to 5 brands in Canada that dominate every market segment,
Yes.
and you're not going to see that change. You're still going to, but where you are going to see is where there might be 7 to 10 competitors in a category, it will shrink down to 3 to 5.
So it seems like there's gonna be, like a clear understanding of which business can sustain the business stress, and the ones that are gonna be shining in, they all obviously have. Now, would you say one of the key reasons the businesses that are gonna outshine in 2026 would probably be because they have a strong franchise system, or is it more mainly like the people that are running it, or they have like what would you say the key components would be that would be shaping the strength of a brand in 2026?
So I firmly believe a body only has one head. And whoever is the head of that company is going to set the tone, carry the weight, be the coach on the field that assembles the best team that's going to win the championship. Any one person can win a game, but it takes a team to win a championship. And you got to put together a team, and teams take great leadership. So, whoever the CEO is, whoever's sitting at the C suite, the executives that are driving the team every day in, day out, that's going to be the determining factor because it all falls from the top. Franchisees have to be just as driven, but they're not going to be driven if the CEO isn't inspiring. The
Right.
CEO doesn't reach out to their franchisees and say, listen, we're in it with you. We're here to help. Let us know what you need. Right? This is going to be a tough year. You got to double down. You got to put in that effort. You got to make those calls. You got to be there for your franchisees. That is absolutely important here if you want to get through the next year to year and a half and come out the strongest survivor. And I'll tell you, if you put in the extra work, you will come out bigger, better, and stronger than any of your competitors.
Right. Well, absolutely. Like it starts from the vision starts from the top to bottom, and you're like spot on with your comment. Like it starts with like the C-suite and like how they are going to be
Yeah,
transforming their vision into like reality for their potential franchisees or the existing players that they're working with. So very very important comment. I feel like that definitely like it tells you like a lot about the brand as well, how capable they're going to be in the future. Now I want to touch on one key component that is like around like any conference that I go to right now, people are talking about AI technology, like things are moving. What are you looking, especially in the restaurant space, technology wise, how technology is changing for you guys?
I'm looking at AI. I'm looking at robotics. I'm looking at anything that improves efficiency, reduces expenses, and makes the bottom line easier to achieve. If I tell all my team, you're not going to be replaced by AI, you'll be replaced by someone else who does use AI. So if you're not using AI, you are falling behind. You are you are way behind at this point if you're not well versed in AI and how to use it. You got to be using AI on a daily basis to be able to make the best informed decisions. But it also comes down to how you use it, the quality of questions you're asking it, what type of use you're using for it. If you're copying and pasting, if you're thinking before you post your responses. I mean, at the end of the day, if all I need to do is get another ChatGPT subscription to replace you, what's the point of having you, right? I need you to think. I need you to think through your decisions. When it comes to robotics, we're always looking at ways to improve with automation. That brings down labor costs. And I'd say, yeah, on the technology side, robotics and AI, top shelf right now. Like that is absolutely what I'm looking at every day.
All right. That brings to my last question. Like, what would you say? And again, I know you're a humble guy. Just like, be honest. What is your biggest win in franchise career?
What's my biggest win in my
I know
franchise career?
it's a tough one, but what would you say has like something that you are really proud of on your shoulder? You go like, hey, this is something that I've achieved, and this is
I
a
would have to say my biggest win is every single person that I've set up for business that has succeeded, that has sold their business or grown it successfully, that supported their family, that's put their kids' education through it, that's paid their mortgage through their business. Being able to have created that opportunity for people, that is a true blessing in life. That is something I'm grateful for, the opportunity to have participated in and to see them succeed. And for those that didn't, and my ratio is pretty small of those that didn't, that I managed their expectations, that they knew what they were getting into, and that the choice between success and not succeeding ultimately rested within their shoulders, that they made different decisions than the ones they were advised to make. If I can have peace of mind and satisfaction knowing that, then I sleep very well at night.
And Sean, like last, I said that was my last question. I lied. I have one last thing to ask you. Like, what would you say is the franchise category that you're excited about right now?
Hmm. Well, I mean, food's always exciting, but I would say I've always really liked the beauty industry. I like the margins in it. I like the customer loyalty, and I like the demographic model. Um, yeah, I would say anything in AI also in franchising is exciting. I'm involved in one AI company, Storied Life, and they're doing some pretty amazing things. Um, I like innovative brands that solve problems and create good things in the world. At the end of the day, it's all about making the world a bit of a better place. And whether we do that one shawarma at a time, one facial spa at a time, one person's life story at a time, as long as we keep contributing and trying to make the world a better place, I think we're all heading in the right direction.
All right, Sean. Well, thanks for joining us today. Tons of value in a
Kabir, I
short
appreciate
episode.
you and I appreciate the time. Thank you.
So for those of the guys like that are watching this video till the end, we're gonna be like listing all the information about Sean and his business and like how you can reach out to him. Go check out the description and you would find like the link for the franchise academy. And for future insights, keep looking into our website franchisevoice.com. Sean, again, thanks for your being here with us for your time, and I wish you all the best.
Pleasure. Thanks, Kabir. You be well. Take care.